Hello, Gemini. Words are very powerful, Gemini. So watch what kind of words you're using, because they're powerful. They can affect those around you and yourself, especially. Ooh, that's cool. They all came out with their partner. Cool. Alright, so what does this mean? Words are powerful, right? So pretend you are looking at yourself in the mirror, right? And you say over and over again, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Well, that's going to make you feel a certain type of way. And just the same with the opposite, right? If you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Well, that's gonna be a different type of energy, a different type of effect on yourself. Look at how careful and tidy and gentle I'm being. So be more careful and gentle and tidy with yourself, Gemini, because words are very powerful. Right? If everything has seemed negative lately, well, it's because there's a lot of negative words that are being used. And everything has its negative, everything has its positive. There's always a negative spin to a situation, and there's always going to be a positive spin with that same situation. Right? This is reminding me of this story that I heard from Ellen Watts about, I think it was like a farmer or something. And there was I think it was 3 different things that happened, but one of the things that happened was his son fell down or something and broke his leg, right? And everybody around the farmer was like, oh, that's so bad, it sucks that your son broke his leg. And he was like, yeah, could be bad, could be good. I don't remember the exact word. I should look up I'm gonna look up the story again. But point is, right, he said, maybe it's bad, maybe it's good. He didn't set a certain negative like everybody else was doing. But his son broke his leg, right? And then the day after, the military came to his house because they were gonna take people to war. And since his kid had a broken leg, well, they didn't take him. They didn't accept him. And the kid didn't have to go to war. So when you look at it that way now, his kid getting a broken bone, that was kind of a good thing, right? Because now he doesn't have to go to war. So everyone around him was like, hey, good thing he broke his bone, right? Because now he's not going to war. Farmer replied literally the same thing. Maybe. Could be good, could be bad. Yes, maybe. Just happens, right? Another situation that this farmer was in, his horse, I think he had 2, let's say he had 2 horses, and they left, they got out, and they disappeared, they ran away, and everybody told this farmer, hey, that sucks, man, I'm sorry, your horses ran away, that sucks. He's like, maybe. He's like, yep, maybe. Possibly, indubitably. And then the next day, his 2 horses came back with a herd of horses. So now this farmer went from 2 horses to 0 horses to a whole herd of horses. And then everybody, same thing. Everybody's like, hey, good thing your horses came back with a bunch of other horses with the herd. Now you have a bunch of horses. And maybe, even with good things, he said maybe, yeah. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. Point is, it's just things that are happening. So if you have been seeing the negative of everything lately, well, words are powerful. Your emotions are going to follow, and your mind and your thoughts are going to follow. If you choose to focus on that negative, on using negative words, on feeling that negative vibe. So we can learn from this farmer, and everything has its negative and positive, everything is just what it is. Things happen so that other things happen, and that's all life is. There is no negative, there is no positive. They're just things that keep happening. So watch your words very carefully. Words are very powerful, and if you want you to use negative words, there's going to be a negative, vibe to it. If you use positive words, there's going to be a positive vibe to it. But there's also a third option, to just see things as they are. Just things happen. Life is a happening. Maturity. Cool. Yep. This is the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Rainbows. This is, you have everything you could ever have, no matter what's happening, right? Just like the farmer. The farmer was very mature way of looking at things. Not like the people around him that were like, oh, that sucks, man, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, that's so good that happened. Hey, that sucks, man, I'm sorry, Going back and forth. But the farmer was mature about it. He accepted things happening for what they were. Even with those good things that come, there's no point in making yourself believe you're much better than people around you when good things happen, because eventually bad things are going to happen. And so it's just a roller coaster. Life is a roller coaster. That's life. And the only thing you can do is just enjoy the ride. Maturity. I kind of want to take a little read out of the OSHO Zen Tarot book, just so we can understand what this maturity card is all about. This figure stands alone, silent and yet alert, just like that farmer. The inner being is filled with flowers that carry the quality of springtime and regenerate wherever he goes. Yeah, he's regeneration, just like the horses regenerated with more horses. He can move in any direction, within and without. It makes no difference, as his joy and maturity cannot be diminished by externals, just like that farmer. He has come to a time of centeredness and expansiveness. The white glow around this figure is his protection and his light. All of life's experiences have brought him to this time of perfection. When you draw this card, know well this moment carries a gift for hard work well done. Your base is solid now, and success and good fortune are yours, for they are the outcome of what has already been experienced within. Now imagine seeing every situation as a gift. Every situation, like that farmer, that every situation, no matter what it is perfect the way that it's happening. Right? He saw the horses left. The farmer saw it as a gift. And the next day he was proven right. Horses came back multiplied. So there's something that's being multiplied in your life. So enjoy. Right? Enjoy the ride of life. Awareness. Cool. Just like the farmer, he was aware. Even when bad things were happening, he was aware enough to notice why they are happening. Maybe he wasn't. But we're talking about you now, Gemini. So awareness, right? But things happen and then other things happen, and that's life. So being aware, not being stuck in that one bad thing that happened, because that one bad thing that happened is leading to another thing, usually a good thing. There's cause and effect. And we can, be engulfed in the story that we're making about ourselves, engulfed in the story like the people around the farmer that said, hey, that sucks that this happened. Hey, that sucks that this other thing happened. Well, when you are aware and you see things as they are happening, well, you can see that, some bad things happen to make room for other good things. And some of those good things are eventually going to turn into bad things that can be set aside for other new things to be in. We are eternal, right? It would be boring to do the same thing over and over and over again for all of eternity. So life causes change. Life causes a shift. Life causes unknown events to happen. And that's cool. That's fun. Mature. 5, 6, 7. Awareness. Number 7. 3 and 4 add up to 7. Another 7. Ooh, this is the 7 of Wands now. He's fighting. What is he fighting? What are you fighting? Gemini. Words are powerful. We were talking about being negative. What's going on that is negative? Be aware. This thing that is happening that is negative is just movement. It's your life shaking you around a little bit to create room for more. Like an Etch-a-Sketch, right? You write a bunch of stuff. Well, now you got to shake up that Etch-a-Sketch to make room to be able to draw something else, something new. So 5, 6, 7. Looks like this guy is fighting against all of these wands. Wands are about movement. Wands are about getting what you want. Wands is about your desires and your wills. So this 7 is like seems like those desires are being stopped or are being put on hold, and you're fighting this hold. But as we can tell from the cards from before, there's a reason for that hold. Just like, say I'm driving down a road, I've noticed this one time, right? And say there's a stoplight that you have to stop, and you're pissed because you need to get to your destination as quick as possible. So damn this stoplight being red, right? But hey, it put you on hold. It's stopping you, right? Now life says go, and the light turns green, and you go. And imagine that you see something, you see a sign or something happens that you wouldn't have noticed, or you wouldn't have seen, or you wouldn't have experienced if it wasn't for this stoplight that stopped you. If it was green and you kept going, you probably would have missed it. But life stopped you, and then when you finally went, life was ready. The experience was ready to happen. So life is all about like a stoplight. Sometimes it goes red because it's like, hold on, we're still cooking over here. And then sometimes it's gonna be green. Go. All right, we're ready. Let's go. So this is a moment. Don't see it as negative. Don't see it if your dreams are on hold. If something is being put on hold, don't fight it. There's a reason for pause. Look for opportunities. Maybe the opportunity that you are, that you want isn't the perfect one for you. And that's why life put you on hold for a little bit, set you aside a little bit. Hey, look for more opportunities. This isn't the one that's going to bring us the best result. How about oh, sorry. Wow. There's something that wants to be said that is stuck in your throat. Which is why I think I coughed like that. Because, whoa, I was really choking on on something, on those words. Strength. Cool. Yeah, it takes strength if life is putting you on hold and you want to go, go, go. There's something that you desire, but life says, hold on a minute. It takes strength to hold on, right? Now, that's cool. We were 7, 7, right? Look, now this is an 8. So now life is progressing. Interesting. When maybe you just wanted to see your strength. Life wanted to see what strength you had. And when it does, then that green light is gonna pop up and tell you to go, go, go. Can't know your strength if you're not in conflict, right? But at the same time, is this conflict worth all the negativity that's brewing up? She's in control. Even though there's a lion there, she is in control. Not necessarily controlling, but she's in control of herself, of the one in the mirror, of that awareness behind her is in control. I like how he's in the back and he zooms in, so it almost seems like he's like that awareness that's hidden right there in the back, and we zoom in. So there's a strength within you, and sometimes the stronger people don't keep fighting. They say, I don't want to fight anymore. Sometimes that's all the time. People who don't want to fight anymore are usually the strongest, because why keep fighting? What is the point of fighting? When they finally turn their turn the cheek, right? It takes a lot more strength to turn the cheek than to fight. Lust. Crazy. Crazy. I think this is strength. Yeah, this is the same card. See, this is what I love about these 3 different decks. They all are literally about the same cards, but they all still have their kind of interpretation, their own interpretation of the cards. But it's still about the same card, you know. Just like if there's a tree right here and I'm looking at it from this side and you're looking at it from over there, we're kind of seeing a different tree, right? A different side of the tree. So to see the whole tree, we gotta listen to both perspectives. I really like what Lady Harris said about this card, about lust, because yeah, let me just find it. I really like this little bit. 1 second, let me find it. Let me find that strength. Notice how the numbers are different as well. There's a reason for it, and it's described in this book, but it's a little more complicated. But the point is, this is still the same card, even though it's a different number, even though it's a different perspective. It's still the same card. Okay, this is Harris to Crowley. She's explaining a thing that happened. Alright, Harris to Crowley. She says, well, you must understand the feeling of it. Now, how do you feel if you see nice chocolates and there you get them and how good they taste? That is a picture of how you feel about those chocolates. That is how at an exhibition of her paintings, Lady Harris explained the lust card to an inquisitive child. That's interesting, huh? Us adults know what lust is, but a child, how would you explain lust to a child? And Lady Harris explains lust to a child by describing a chocolate, seeing the chocolate there, and then getting the chocolate, and then eating the chocolate. I know how good it feels to be munching on that chocolate. That's that lust feeling, right? The thing I like to talk about as well when the strength and lust card come up, especially lust, is like Romeo and Juliet, right? I mean, they lusted after each other. That's great strength. That's strong emotion, you know. Even though it's lust, it's still strong emotion. Like, can you imagine, like, seeing your significant other and they poison themselves, and you wake up and you see that they poison themselves, so you also poison themselves? Like, imagine the strength that one needs to be able to poison themselves. That's an insane amount of strength needed to do that. And that, I think, kind of explains a little bit on how this strength, on that emotion, that strength, right? And I like how he changed the name of it from strength to lust, because, you know, lust is a type of strength, you know, so it's not strength as in muscly strength. It's that kind of this card is about a different type of strength. A strength found in lust. Strife. This brings me back to this guy fighting over here as well. I would like another card here. 9 of Pentacles, gain. Okay. So just like forces butting heads. Words are very powerful. Interesting. Words are powerful, huh? Just like strength gives a certain, you know, power. Lust is a different word, but it kind of still gives a certain power. Strife, fight, battle, you know, those are very powerful words as well. Gain, imagine gaining wealth. Those are also very powerful words. Which powerful words do you want to use? It takes strength to be in control and choose which words you use. right? Looking for opportunities, or, you know, those are stronger words. They put you in a different kind of mindset. Strife puts you in a different kind of mindset. Being in gain puts you in a different kind of mindset. You know, I've heard stories too about like people who are on the bus, and if there's a lady, if she's saying, oh man, I'm gonna get mugged, and all she's thinking about is, oh, I'm gonna get mugged, and she's just in the bus sitting there, and she's thinking, I'm gonna get mugged, I'm gonna get mugged, I'm gonna get mugged. Well, if there is a guy that goes on the bus and his focus is to mug somebody, he is gonna randomly choose that lady that keeps thinking, oh, I'm gonna get mugged, because they kind of match their vibration, right? So if you are a person that says, oh, I'm gonna get mugged, it's more likely that you will get mugged. Or if you're in a relationship, say, oh, I'm gonna get cheated on, I'm gonna be cheated on, I'm cheated. It's very likely that you will be cheated on. But you have a mindset of, oh, I'm gonna gain money here, I'm gonna gain money there, then that is more likely to happen. That is probably gonna happen. And that is why words are very powerful. Hope you enjoyed that, Gemini. Alright, let's see what the historical deck has to say. I'm going to flip both at the same time. Look at that, another number 7. Okay, so let's say your 7 is your lucky number. Look out for that number 7. If number 7 pops up, I would be aware of what is going on. That's all you need to say. And 21. Cool. What is this card? I think this is my grass is greener. Oh, interesting. Yeah, words are powerful still. All right, Michael in this one says, you know what? It's funny. He says, I used to stand in here in his office, and he wished that he was out there with everybody else in the bullpen. Right now he's out there with everybody else in the bullpen, but he wishes he was in his office. Yeah, Jim says, well, the grass is always greener. And then Michael says, except there's no grass out there. Right? The words are very powerful. Makes you feel a certain type of way. But yeah, the grass is always greener where you water it, is what they say. But how cool is it that Michael was in his office wishing he was out there, and he was put in a situation where he was out there, just to realize that where he was really meant to be all along was in that manager's office. You know, so after he comes back to that manager's office, he can appreciate a lot more being that manager's office, that full circle that happened, you know, something good. He was in the good, but he started as bad, and then he left into what he thought was good, but really that was the bad. And so he came back to what always has been good, but now he's seeing it as good. Cool. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. If it did help, please help me with a like, a comment, and subscribe if you want to keep hanging out. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the next one.